Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson here at Active Self Protection. I am your host, John Correa. Today's video comes to us from Oakland, California. Palm pepper spray has recently reformulated for even more effect when you bless the deserving with the hot sauce. Palm is what I use between a harsh word and a gun and encourage everyone to do likewise. This clerk is just doing his normal business, serving his customers, but what's going to happen here in just a second is he's going to notice a guy come around his counter who has like his sweatshirt wrapped around his head, hiding his face. And our clerk is going to notice he's coming around. He has his own firearm as well. So he's going to get it out, chamber around, and start winging rounds at the guy with one hand and very quickly run his gun out. Now, he is going to kind of hide there for a second. You're going to see one more round come his way. He goes and hides underneath this. Well, and then he plays dead. No joke. If you go read the link that I put in the description, that's what they said he did. He was not hit, and he is playing dead here. So now our perp grabs his gun and then tries to get the register open and can't because he doesn't know how, and he's trying not to put his fingerprints on stuff. So he pulls the clerk out here to get at the fanny pack he has, and then pops that fanny pack off, and then he is going to then run off and just kind of saunter off, really. But watch the clerk here. He is just going to start kind of breathing a little bit heavy here. And I don't see any blood. That doesn't mean that he wasn't hit. And I cannot find a good news story on this one at all. I literally cannot find a good news story. So if you have anything from an official source, put it in the comments, would you? Believe it or not, this is the second time we have seen someone play dead and live through an armed robbery. It's an odd strategy. We got some other lessons to think about here. I think this video is a great reason to carry a firearm and reminds me to carry a firearm with you all the time that you are competent and capable to use, and that you have enough training that you can use it effectively. Let's see where that kind of fails our clerk here. I'm really proud he was carrying and proud he tried to defend himself. And the fact of the matter was he was paying attention and saw something out of the ordinary. This was his go signal to start getting his gun out in the fight. Why? Because somebody's coming around the counter who has wrapped a sweater around their head. You know, they've turned into cornholio. And so then, wait a minute, this is a big problem, and I got to start seeing what's going on. Remember, attention buys you time, and time buys you options. And you don't have to be faster if you can be sooner. This guy's certainly no rocket ship getting his gun out of the holster, but quite frankly, he doesn't need to be because he was paying attention. Now, he goes for the gun, starts to get it out here, and I think one of his big problems is then he has to chamber around. I have seen many people lose gunfights, and we've had many of them here on the channel, because they had to take the time to chamber around, and that messed with their first shot. It messed with their ability to put good hands on the gun, and it made them late in the fight because they don't have that much time. Got the gun out here in about 2.2 seconds, which isn't rocket fast by anybody's definition of the term, but another about 4/10 or so to get the round chambered. And the bigger thing that it did to him is once he did get the round chambered, now he feels like he's behind, so he just sticks the gun out in front of him and wings a shot off in that guy's direction. Remember, grip is the master, sights set the pace, trigger is the servant, and we will teach you how to use your firearm more effectively, your handgun especially, over at Active Self Protection Extra, so make sure that you subscribe over there, because we give great tips over there literally every single week about using your firearm well. But because he's just winging shots off here, he is now panic firing. He's basically using the gun as a loud whistle that says, "Leave me alone, I'm dangerous," but he's not going to use that gun with any kind of effectiveness. As you watch here, he's just backing up, which I don't blame him. He's got shots coming his way, but he's just firing into the bookcase there and then runs his firearm out of ammo very quickly. The number one cause of reloading is missing, and I have never seen a private citizen get a reload into the fight and use any rounds in it successfully in an actual gunfight. I have seen 7 or 8 instances like this, that somebody's gun ran dry and they might have been able to get a reload in the fight if they were carrying it. But the better answer here, in my opinion, is simply not to miss. If you are better off with the gun than this, if you can get hits and keep your wits about you here, then that is a far better solution than worrying about a reload. Because again, you know, he had about 5 seconds here, but notice he's on his hands and knees, and so he'd have to get his reload from wherever it is he would carry it, which most people are not carrying it in a very advantageous position, would be very difficult. So I think a higher capacity firearm is a good idea, but even more than that, the skill, so that he's not just using up his available opportunities in panic firing, could have given him a better opportunity here. I will say, I think that, man, hey, there's some real courage here going, okay, what am I going to do to make myself himself safer. Now, you notice here he did catch a shot coming back his way at about 5 seconds. Again, the little snippet on the link to the original that I've put in the description says that missed him and that he played dead from here. Okay, absent anything else, I'm going to believe him. But recognize a 5-second reload from the position of lying on the ground fighting a gunfight over your head like this would have been very difficult. Better off, again, higher capacity firearm and the ability to use it well and to see your sights, grip the gun well, trigger the gun adequately. That said, I think this is an ingenious strategy. Okay, I'm out of bullets. What am I going to do? Play dead and hope for the best. We've actually seen this work on the channel a couple of times. I think it's a risky strategy, but it does work. The only thing that it's going to happen here is, of course, he's got to convince the perp that he's dead in this particular case. I also think that this just shows the total heartlessness of people like this. He's willing to murder you and then end up not even getting anything out of the register. Like, oh, well, bummer, I'll just steal this guy's fanny pack and then wander off. How absolutely evil is that? So here's the thing. Carrying a firearm by itself does not keep you safer. It's proficiency with that firearm that makes it a useful tool so that you know that you can carry it